going for a bit of a walk up the Rameka and hopefully a bit of a bush bash if I can find my way. I'm looking for a track that goes up the ridgeline and will hopefully put me up into the pine trees at the top. Here we are now at the Rameka. Here comes the gravel. My car is way too low for this road. Right, we're off. Alongside me you'll see all the various mountain biking tracks, and most of them go off to the bush. Not many of them are alongside the road. The Rameka is one of the more popular mountain bike tracks in the bay, probably the most popular. Here's one of the old entrance points that I like going down when I mountain bike. So up there at those pine trees is where I want to get. And it looks like I can climb up that ridgeline along that spine there. I just have to find an entrance point further up. I'm climbing up there. So I just have to get through here and through this bit of bush. Pretty dense bush. You need to find a better entrance point. Heaps of gorse as well. Here we go, let's try this one out. Great, the gorse is all behind me. I think there's a track right here. But yeah, would you look at that? I just came from the road down there. There's a track here, looks like a mountain bike track, but not one that I've ever rode. You know what, I think it's the Odyssey track. The grade 5 advanced track. I never go on this one because it's pretty rough and lots of it's overgrown with stinging nettle and gorse. Heaps of plantings around here. Quite new ones actually. But the old style are planter box. Nowadays they use cardboard ones because they're more decomposing than these plastic ones. Yep, I'm gonna go off track right here and follow the ridge line up to those pine trees up there in the distance. It's not so hard foliage to get through now. It's pretty dense bush so far. Got a bit to go, quite a bit. Some gorse right in front of me. So for any non-New Zealander who doesn't know, this is gorse. And there's so much of it in New Zealand. These spiky little bushes with yellow flowers. I believe it was brought to New Zealand by the British because they thought it would make attractive looking hedges. And what it ended up doing was spreading all across the country. And they sucked the bush bash through because they have these little spikes on the ends that break off under your skin once they penetrate the surface. You get these little red spots all over your skin. Look at that hill straight in front of me. Heaps of panga everywhere. I've been up there once in 2020 with my friend Joey. We went up through the bush to find a nice lookout on some farmland, and we did, and we could see the whole bay. Great. I got through that big patch of gorse. Now I've got a bit of a clearing to enjoy before I find some more. There's a mountain mica. This here is one of my favourite trees. It's a Rameka. It's got very soft leaves. And this is a Manuka. So the Manuka is like the male equivalent of the female version, the Kanuka. And you can remember which one's which, because Kanuka, K for kinds, because it's so soft, and Manuka, M for mean, because the leaves are so much more rough. The terrain up here is really steep. I just heard someone right there in the bush. I thought I was here by myself up in the bush. I heard him yell out for his dog. Right there next to me, I didn't quite see him. But he might have been up here for work, doing trapping and pest control. Or maybe he's just up here bush bashing like me. Unlikely. Maybe. There is a bit of hunting up here, so could be that as well, especially with the dog. Oh, okay. The pine trees are just there. Just this last stretch of bush to get through. Cool, more plantations. And lots of fennel. It's a very rich smell of fennel, and you can actually eat it. I never liked that. Actually, it's not so bad. The taste has kind of grown on me. Pine trees are right there, I'm so close. I'm just standing here with Mr. Akiaki. You can see it's taken a lot of wind, because where it comes out of the ground, it's got this big hollow. So when the wind blows, this thing moves around a lot. And it digs out this big hollow here. And here's a little totua tree. This is a tree that my family use as a Christmas tree every year. Just about there. Here's some harakiki. And I believe, yes. Here's a track. This is the Project Rameka track. Comes down this way. And takes its way down this hill, and there's a lookout right here. I forgot that I'd be coming across this track. So I started all the way down there, at that road, and bush bashed my way up along this ridge line. Right, so I've caught my breath, and I'm off again. I'm going to follow the Project Rameka all the way up, and then walk down the historic track back to my car. So here I am at the forks. This is the intersection where you choose the track that you take down the hill on your bike. And the one I just come up is the Project Rameka Intermediate. Then there's the Odyssey, that's the advanced one, the Expert. That's the one that I found myself on at the start of my bush bash before I followed the ridgeline. Then there's the entrance, that's where you come from the top road. And then here's the historic track, which I'll take down to get back to my car. The historic track is actually my favourite track to mountain bike down. One time I was biking down here 2 years ago in this section in the pines, and I was lucky enough to see a kakapo fly and land on a tree, which is a very rare bird to see in an area like Golden Bay, especially up here in the pine trees. Beautiful bird though. Look at this. Someone's gone and milled their own timber from this tree here that's been cut down. That's such a good idea. And this is the freshest smell. It smells so good. Now amongst all these pine trees is a big patch of gum trees right here behind me. And of all the times I've cycled down here, I never actually noticed them. Now right here is a tomo. As you can see, it's caged off. And a tomo is essentially a cave entrance. In New Zealand, walking in the bush isn't particularly dangerous at all because we have no predators that could kill us. No snakes or no crazy spiders. When you're in the bush in New Zealand, the thing I'm the most concerned of is falling down an unmarked tomo. There's been stories of people in the bush who have fallen down tomos and had to have a rescue team come and collect them with ropes and harnesses. Here we go, here's an unmarked one. Here's a big one, clearly fenced off, and another one right after. Whoa. Now just up here is a lookout spot called Martin's Lookout. And for the last couple of years when I was in high school, every day after school I'd bike up here. Here it is, here's the bench, and here's the view. Real nice. So you can see my house down there in the distance. There it is. All the way down there. That red roof is my house. And down there I can see my car we have to get back to. Little old white one. Next track's down here, I'll just push back off to it. Look, just by the track there's these massive pine trees that have come down in the wind. My prediction is that they came down in that big storm that we had in July. There's a few more actually have come down. When I'm coming down here on my bike, it's been about 4 times I've seen to crash into this tree with this arrow. Bush with my tire, and I've landed here a couple of times. I should know better to not go so fast down that segment, but I get carried away. Okay, I'm down now on the flats. Great, here I am at the bottom. There's the river to cross that will take me back to the car park. Here in front of me, here's a nice fig tree that someone's planted. I actually remember the day he planted this, and it's done really, really well. Okay, I'm all done with today's walk. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. All done.